Fox Weather's farm forecast is sponsored by Kubota.
Got this little bale of hay we're gonna put in the calf lot here. They're so excited about it. They're so excited. Is that the best stuff ever? Oh my gosh. Wild horses. I'm so glad we've got them trained to come. That was a good afternoon's work.
I mean, it's so beautiful up there. That is northern North Carolina, right there by the state line with Virginia, too. You got the horses, the cows, green fields. That's the farm life right there, right? You're looking at the moment straight out of the life of Meredith Bernard. She's a social media influencer who's grown quite the following from her farming vlogs. But Meredith doesn't just show the good parts. She captures all the messiness and struggles of what it takes to run a farm successfully. Meredith Bernard from This Farm Life joins me right now. And Meredith, thank you so much for joining me on Fox Weather. I was watching your YouTube channel and I'm hooked, man. I mean, it seems like you dropped everything and you just was like, I'm doing a farm life. Is that how it happened?
Just went all in. Yeah. Thank you, Bob. I'm so excited to be on here today.
Oh, it's great to have you for sure. And just tell me what your life has been like the last couple of years, because you weren't always a farmer, right?
That's right. I quit my corporate feed sales job. So I was selling feed to farmers. And then I decided to come home and homeschool our children and work alongside my husband on our beef cattle farm. It's been at least 8 or 9 years now. Hard to believe.
Wow, it's been that long.
Yeah, it has. It has.
So you live up there in northern part of North Carolina and Virginia, too. Weather has been affecting you over the last couple of years, right? It's been pretty rough with that. Was it the Dan River that's right next to you?
Yes, we farm right along the Dan River. We're in the deepest bend of it right here in our area. And so it's kind of a catch-22 because that's where the flattest land is and the most fertile land. So that's where we like to raise our hay and our crops. But when the river gets out, it has a tendency to take what we planted. So we've definitely had some years here recently. A few years ago, we got flooded 3 times in one year. That was really bad. And then of course, I know y'all were just talking about the effects of Helene last year. And even though we are a few hours east of the mountains, we were still affected, not as much by the flooding here as it was wind. And the wind laid down our soybean crop and we lost over half of it. Weren't able to get it up with the combine. So
wow.
Yes, we know all about storms.
Yeah, I guess so. Helene really messed you guys up. So did Helene have any effect on what you're going to farm and reap this year?
Yes, we have decided this year that we are not going to raise soybeans because we did lose so much money last year. We're going to focus on our hay and just some small grains that we're raising to feed our cows, which is barley and some oats. So we're going to do barley, oats, and then our hay.
So when does the hay get reaped? Is that coming up, what is it, a couple of weeks from now?
Yeah, we've actually done our first cutting a couple weeks ago. We got our first cutting in, and then that cutting will be ready for a second cutting probably within a month or so. And then we're also going to be planting some late hay that will be ready probably August.
Gotcha. And those are the big old hail bales that look like cheese that you stack up on the field, right? Because we had a farm area out there in Georgia where we used to drive by all the time. It was this time of year we're looking like they were just stacking chunks and chunks of cheese. That's the hail that the hay bale, right?
Yeah, they're big. They're called big round bales,
Gotcha.
and that's what we do. We do a few small square bales because we do have some horses, and it's nice to be able to have the square bales for when we're traveling, when we take the trailer and whatnot. But the big round bales is what we do the majority of. So they're like 2,000 pounds a piece. They're big.
Wow, yeah, that's you can't really flip them like it's a tire, like J.J. Watt at football practice, right? You need an actual tractor with that thing. Let me ask you one more thing, Meredith. Was it worth it leaving your sales job to become a farmer?
Oh, yes, it was. I've never looked back. I loved my job. I loved the people I worked with, but this job of being a mother and getting to raise my kids here and work alongside my husband has been the most rewarding thing I have ever done in my life, and it's taught me so much about life in general. The farm has so much to teach, and I wouldn't trade a minute or a day of it for anything.
That's great. Meredith, it's been a pleasure to talk to you because I've thought about just dropping everything and doing something like that myself. You actually did it. Yeah, don't tempt me. That is This Farm Life creator Meredith Bernard. Thank you very much, Meredith, for sharing your time and your story with us. We appreciate it. That's This Farm Life. You can catch her right there on the YouTube channel. I was just watching it. It was hooked. Thanks, Meredith.
Thanks, Bob. Take care.
Yeah. And time for the farm forecast going on right now. You can see the current spring bloom is out there. Obviously, we're starting to get closer into the summertime where things are starting to get reaped. And remember, we were talking about the hay that's starting to get baled up there as well in another couple weeks across North Carolina in the lower sections of Virginia. So that's what we're watching right there. Plenty of rain, though, unfortunately. It's been almost too much for the entire springtime, right? Look at the yellows right here. That's about 3 to 8 inches above the average from where you should be rainfall-wise for the year. So it went from essentially a dry winter to now a very wet spring for the east half of the nation. And you're talking about the Ohio Valley, the Mississippi Valley as well. But it has cut a huge deficit clearly into that drought monitor. Even up across New Jersey, it was flirting with that. The extreme drought is now gone. But you get across east part of North Carolina, still need rain there. The low country of South Carolina has also been dry. Same with the areas right there by Myrtle Beach.